That.
And action.
Oh. あなたの知ってるゲーム?
5と言います。山内さんのお気に入りなんです。
Exactly, that's right.
Do you remember that game Tetris that surfaced in 1984? Well, it turns out that Apple TV produced an entire comedy genre about the game, and it will be releasing on March 31st in the US.
Action. Valentine.
This interesting story consists of Hank Rogers discovering Tetris and then risks everything by traveling to the Soviet Union, where he joins forces with the inventor to bring the game to the masses.
It's not fair. You charge far too much for the arcade rights, and why should I sign a new contract for the PC rights that I own already?
Today we'll be going over what went into this movie and how they came up with the outline of this film.
This is a Nintendo.
But before we get into it, some trivia for you. What is the two words that Tetris came from? Leave your guesses in the comments down below and stick around to the end of the video to find out if your answer was correct.
Why is Hank Rogers here?
Back when the film started shooting in Scotland, Egerton shared a behind-the-scenes image of his look as his character, Hank Rogers, for the film.
I had the game, and I had the game because it was one of the... I got a pack of games that came with my Game Boy Color. I was a little bit young for the first Game Boy, but I got the Game Boy Color, the purple thing, and I think it was for my 10th birthday, which would have been in about 99. And Tetris was one of the games that I played. So I knew it from that. It's obviously such a staple and an iconic game in the gaming community, and that was my first introduction to it.
Toby Jones and Nikita Efremov also star in this film as Robert Stein and the creator of Tetris himself. In July of 2020, production for this film was rolling. During this time, of course, things were a bit complicated due to the state of the world and everything going on.
My character, Hank, is a Dutch-born American publisher of games who, at the point at the start of the film, was residing in Japan with his family. And he basically discovers the game at a sort of a games fair in Las Vegas.
During an interview in August of the same year, Egerton confirmed that the film would mirror a tone similar to The Social Network, an American biographical drama.
$150,000? I know. It's a lot.
This is the film about two great talents from different cultures. So one talent is a genius programmer, Alexei Pajitnov, another is genius businessman, Hank Rogers, and how they're collaborating, even though they're from really different worlds, but they're collaborating, and Tetris appeared worldwide.
Filming also took place in Aberdeen at locations including the University of Aberdeen's Zoology building, which was used as the headquarters of the Soviet firm Elorg. We get to hear from Anthony Boyle, who plays Kevin Maxwell, about his audition and working with Egerton.
I went on tape and I had a mullet at the time, so I was doing a different project and I looked a bit feral. And John rang me, the director, and said, can you do the same tape, exactly the exact same, but can you cut your hair and just sort of scrub up a bit?
On the flip side, we get to hear what the film is really about and playing Tetris in general.
I downloaded the Tetris in here in Glasgow, and I'm on top list number 4 in Glasgow for 1 week. I were top 4 because I was playing all my free time for about like 4 days.
Roger Allam, who plays Robert Maxwell, introduces us to the makeup process, and with these kinds of films, it's obviously some simple makeup to make the face more appealing, and more than likely to make sure the face is not too dark or too bright in regards to the lighting effects while they are shooting.
Getting the makeup on is 4 hours, and I think I might be dead.
Reviews have already come in for this film, and it's safe to say that this film will likely be a hit. On Rotten Tomatoes, 81% of 37 critics' reviews are positive, with an average rating of 6.5 out of 10. The website's consensus reads, "While it's nowhere near as addictive or fast-paced as the game, Tetris offers a fun, fizzy account of the story behind an 8-bit classic." Another character named Sasha, played by Sofia Lebedeva, she discusses how the casting process was as well as working with other actors.
In that time in Moscow, we had lockdown. So I got proposal from my agent and record a self-tape. Got feedback from director Jon and producer that they like me, and then we went to the next level. They called it chemistry room. I've never done it before. It's very interesting.
Now this film is of course based on the true story of how this game was created and evolved. Taron Egerton plays the salesman Rogers and discoverer of Tetris.
A couple of great suits, this one being the hero one. And yeah, there's just this sort of, working with Nat, you know, we wanted to kind of bring this element of extroversion out in him to sort of throw him into relief against what is quite an, I would say, austere palette that's being used for Russia in terms of the lighting and the costume and the set design.
With something like this, there is bound to be complications with people surrounding the development and power that people speculate with something that could be very popular to the consumer. The premise reads, when he sets out to bring the game to the world, he enters a dangerous web of lies and corruption behind the Iron Curtain.
It's an extraordinary story involving lots of different factions from all over the world, all pursuing this incredibly hot property.
This game is poetry, art and math, all working in magical synchronicity.
My character, Hank, is a publisher of games who sets about on this kind of mad dash to secure the rights to Tetris.
We also wanted to give a shout out to our Marvel Monday winner. If you guys didn't know, we ask a challenging Marvel-related trivia question over on our community tab. If you answer it correctly, you get a chance to have your answer featured here in one of our videos.
And background action and action.
Tetris is very well known to many people who have been a fan of video games for a while now. Taron Egerton discusses the real Hank Rogers.
He and I spoke, as I said, over Zoom, as is the way that you speak to most people these days in, you know, early 2021, to anyone who's watching in the future. And you're right, there is always an element of responsibility that comes with playing somebody who is a real person.
Films like this are very simple. Not a whole lot of actions going on, but explaining a real-life story of how an idea came to life and the process of it all.
It's an extraordinary story involving lots of different factions from all over the world, all pursuing this incredibly hot property.
This game is poetry, art and math, all working in magical synchronicity.
And as far as the answer to our trivia question, It all began with the puzzle-loving software engineer who created Tetris in 1984 while working for the computing century of the Soviet Academy of Sciences, a research and development center in Moscow created by the government. Tetris comes from the two names Tetra and Tennis.
Background action and action.
So what do you guys think about all these moments? Were you as obsessed with this game as much as Hank Rogers? And are you excited to see this film? You'd be surprised at how many people who live and breathe this game still. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Make sure you subscribe with notifications on for more videos just like this. That's it for today though. We'll see you all next time with a brand new video. Bye guys.
Aussie.